Namaskaram to all Atmas. Today we are going to see the God's third commandment to mankind to fulfill their duties to the macro world, that is, presently to the duties to our nation, to build a developed India and thus release the entire karmas and attain Jivan Mukti. I told you our karmas will get fully released only when we fulfill our duties to micro and macro family. And especially to our mother India, we need to do with a patriotic fervor. In that respect, we have already seen about charter point number up to 11, which under government social responsibility fulfilled. Today we are going to see the last four, charter number 12 to 16. This is relating to legislative reformation, executive reformation, judiciary reformation, opposition social responsibility and media social responsibility, which are needed for one to fulfill their duties in these respective areas to build a developed nation and to release their karmas. The charter point number 12 says legislative reformation. In India, the legislative enactments are very cumbersome with lot of enactments with amendments and rules, regulations, circulars being released by the government day in and day out, which even the legal experts could not know, not to speak of a common man. With the result, even the genuine people will be penalized for violations which happens without their knowledge. Hence, the government should take initiative to simplify the legislative enactments, the following four legislation with all rules, regulations, circulars covered within it. That is Civil Procedure Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Corporate Procedure Code covering all laws applicable to all business establishments, and Tax Procedure Code covering direct and indirect taxes including property tax, registration, property registration, stamp duty, everything under taxes. So by this what happens? The system, the legislative system can be streamlined, simplified, so that everybody can able to follow the rules and regulations properly. Simplified legislation with less burden on the people by way of penalties and prosecution is very much essential for all the people to follow it with true spirit. That is very essential, which the legislative reformation has to bring in. What is the executive reformation? There is in our constitution we have got legislative, executive and judiciary. Legislative are those parliament and the assembly, they pass enactments after due deliberations. These enactments are executed by the government servants, IAS, IPS, IFS officers and the people working beneath them. The third is judiciary, who give the necessary legal support for the people, especially in respect of constitutional matters or civil or criminal or tax laws or any corporate laws, all these areas wherever people have faced any grievance that will be redressed by the judiciary. This is how the constitution has been set. Here under this all executives, that is IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, IAS officers and people working in government departments should work independently without any interference from the legislative people like ministers, MP, MLAs, who presently dominate in their work by demanding to collect bribes, involved in corruption in swindling the funds allocated to various people welfare schemes. So these executive people should not have any interference in their work. So that's why most of the people are made scapegoats by these legislative ministers and all. And finally, these people are getting caught hold of, whereas the legislative people escape from them. So these people should work independently so that whatever government has passed legislation, these executive people will fulfill with true spirit, honestly, diligently, so that they release their karma, fulfill their duties and release their karma. All government servants should work diligently for the welfare of the people without taking any bribe. Their activities should be secretly monitored by the Central Vigilance Commission, Anti-Corruption Bureau, CBI, to ensure they do not misuse their position and do good to the people and thus fulfill their duties to people and release their karma. This is what the legislative reformation should be bringing. non-interference by the political people, and do right service to the people. And charter point number 14 is judicial reformation. Presently, crores of cases are pending in various levels of courts in India. Most of the civil cases relating to property disputes are dragging on in court for several years by continuous adjournments. In case of criminal cases, many of the under trials are languishing in jails for more than their jail time if verdict is pronounced as per criminal law, and they lose their valuable life by remaining in jails. Government should pass legislative reformation to restrict to 3 to 4 adjournments and dispose of all cases by passing judgments within 6 months to 1 year. For this, government should establish more lower courts in each legislative constituency throughout India and appoint more judges in all courts to ensure speedy disposal of all cases. Also, Lok Adalat and arbitration tribunals should be established at each legislative assembly constituency to dispose of petty cases, check bounce cases, contracts with arbitration clauses on fast-track basis. Thus, government should take initiative to ensure that people get appropriate legal remedy at the earliest without dragging on the cases for several years. The charter point number 15 is opposition social responsibility. In a democratic country like India, for efficient public governance, effective opposition party is essential. We should make a detailed study of all the legislations, welfare schemes announced by the ruling political party and make a thorough probe as to how they are administered, how the funds are utilized for the people's welfare, whether ministers approve tenders or projects to their binamis, whether funds allocated to various schemes are not swindled by ministers, if so to complain to Central Vigilance Commission CBI to catch the culprit and ensure that people get their rightful share from the government schemes that contribute to the economic upliftment. Hence, opposition parties, instead of scolding ruling party members and fighting in the assembly or parliament and boycotting the sessions, they should raise their voice in the assembly and parliament and bring to notice of press and media of various lacuna in the registration schemes passed by the government and see that elected government do not do any act which is prejudicial to the welfare of the people. This is the words under opposition party social responsibility we have to fulfill. And now finally the charter point number 16 is media social responsibility. So press and media are the important pillars of democracy to bring the information about various government legislations, welfare schemes, and good and bad events happening in the society. They play an important role to ensure that the elected representatives do not deviate from their duties by highlighting through media the shortcomings happening in their department that is affecting the people's welfare. Press and media should not give undue importance to the personal lives of films, sports, political, and other celebrity personalities for TRP purpose. Instead, they should focus more on bringing to the knowledge of public about various gazette publications announced by the state and central government, informing the public about various welfare schemes and how to avail the same. The press and media should work vigilantly to eradicate corruption, bribery, and all evil menace in the society and work for the welfare of the people and thus contribute for the economic social upliftment of the people and thus contribute to shape our nation into a developed India. So to achieve all these social responsibilities, let us all citizens, government at center and all states, all political parties, all government servants, all press and media, unitedly work diligently together to fulfill our duties in an honest, sincere manner without any ulterior motive and thus contribute our part for the economic upliftment of all our Indian family members, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and thus build a developed India socially, which spiritually, by fulfilling our duties to the macro-national family, will enable us to release our entire karmas and attain Jivan Mukti, spiritual aspect is concerned. How to spread God's 3 commandments to bring peace to humanity and build a developed India. To bring to light the God's 3rd commandment about the importance of people to fulfill their duties under individual social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, government social responsibility, opposition social responsibility, press and media social responsibility, socially to build a developed India, and spiritually to release their entire karmas and attain Jivan Mukti, to highlight God's 1st commandment, to highlight the knowledge to bring in the inner peace to mankind by spreading his Advaita Yoga for all ages, 1 to 60 above years, and how to practice spiritual sadhana to attain salvation, and to highlight God's 2nd commandment to spread the message of peace told in 9 main religious philosophies of the world to eradicate religious intolerance from the society and to make all people to live as one Indian family, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, and thus bring in real peace to humanity and world peace. God has given instruction to establish, to achieve the above, to spread these 3 commandments, to the people, to the mankind at large. God has given instruction to establish a socio-spiritual political party by name People's Peace Party to spread God's 3 commandments to mankind. Government implemented the various government social responsibilities to build and develop India socially and to make all to release their entire karmas and attain Jivan Mukti spiritually, which is the ultimate objective of human God. It is planned to launch this People's Peace Party shortly. So let us all work together to make the government to fulfill its charter up to charter point number 12, the government social responsibility, and what the legislative information, judicial information, tax information, various things that have been discussed so far. Everything we need to implement for these people, opposition parties, press, everyone should join together to raise our voice to the government. And for this only, this People's Peace Party is going to be established, and let us all join us. This is purely a people's party because people normally they do not want to enter directly into the public life. So they are confined with their family and their worker. So by remaining in their family, remaining in the inside the house, they can also participate in this social mission of building our nation by sharing their thoughts how to build the nation through this People's Peace Party forum. They can community group will be formed where people can join and share their experience, share their thoughts, share their suggestions, so that through this People's Peace Party, this will be brought to the knowledge of our government, press, and the opposition parties to implement it to see that we all build a developed nation. Let us work together, and build a developed India and fulfill our duties, release our karma, and let us all attain the Jivan Mukti path. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you.